This is Digital Anarchist.
I have the distinct pleasure to be joined by Kristin Hazlewood. Kristin was with HCL BigFix in particular. She's Vice President, General Manager of HCL BigFix. Welcome, Kristin. Good to be talking with you.
Thanks so much for having me today, Mitch.
You bet. Would you do us a favor? Just give us a little bit of an introduction. Tell us about yourself, and of course, tell us a little bit about HCL. We'll get into BigFix because I want to hear more about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Mitch. So as mentioned, I'm the Vice President and General Manager for BigFix. I'm responsible for all things BigFix, from product strategy to execution. Prior to working on BigFix, I spent my career in engineering in the identity and access management space. So security is near and dear to my heart. Just a little bit about HCL Software. We're a $1 billion software business. It might be a new name to some, HCL Software, but the products that we have in our portfolio are products with tremendous enduring value that our customers have come to know and love over decades. And under HCL's nurturing, those products are growing and transforming to continue to meet customers' needs.
Great. We're excited to talk with you about security. We talked a lot about low-code, no-code types of things. HCL is a big company involved in a lot of things, so we're excited to talk about this aspect. So let's talk about BigFix. Describe the category the product fits in.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes when people hear the name BigFix, you either know it or you have no idea what we're talking about. So BigFix is an endpoint management solution, which helps IT teams automate the management of all kinds of endpoints. That can include, traditional IT type management, as well as securing those endpoints. Our mantra at BigFix is find and fix all endpoints fast. So everything that we do is about expanding the breadth of endpoints that we cover, whether it be from, traditional production legacy systems to the newer, more modern devices. BigFix provides the ability for IT teams to manage those devices, really provide automation. So that's the finding aspect. The fixing aspect, we provide the capabilities through our continuous content streams, which is automation that we provide to our customers on almost every day. We have more content going out to customers to help them solve the problems that they have in their endpoint state. And then fast, right? We're all about scaling, helping teams get things done faster. And that's BigFix in a nutshell. We do so much, but it's about finding and fixing all endpoints fast. Whatever an IT team needs to do to an endpoint, you can do it with BigFix.
It's a massive challenge. I remember the days of bring your own device was a big controversy, right? Well beyond that point, especially these days. And speaking of that, how would you describe what are some of the challenges that people have with endpoint management, security of endpoint devices because of the whole work at home, work anywhere kind of going forward? I think we're in a work anywhere sort of strategy, and whether there's COVID or not now, given how many people want to work remotely.
Right, absolutely. And you hit on it, right? That's one of the number one questions that we get when we go in and talk with organizations is, how can you help us better manage our remote workers? So being in IT, sometimes we forget that the remote workers are not all technical, right? This might be their first time using a laptop outside of the office. So how do you enable those remote workers to be as productive or more productive remote as compared into the office, as well as dealing with the different security aspects? You might be on a home network that's not secure at all. They might be working from a coffee shop. Different aspects like that. So it's about helping customers on that journey of providing them with the capabilities to manage those devices wherever they are, whether it's bring your own or a corporate issued device. You want that same control and support that you can provide when those systems are on site in your organization. So that's been a tremendous challenge that our customers have come to us and asked for help. And we joke that if you've been using BigFix, you've been doing this for decades. It's something that BigFix has supported for a very long time. And we've just added some layers of rich capabilities in the last several months to help address some of the evolving challenges.
Cool. Well, I want to get to those too. It seems like one of the things that also has changed is we're using so many more third-party services, not just internal applications that are run in our private data centers, SaaS applications, cloud services, whether it's, Office 365, Google Workspace, to name a few simple ones. But, CRM, and the list is long and maybe notable. How does that present a changing landscape from an endpoint security perspective, and how we think about solving maybe some new challenges or old challenges that are cropping up in different ways?
Yeah, so I think that's a good point, right? And it's about, so it all starts with making sure that your endpoint is secured and compliant with company policies, and making sure that it's open to be able to connect with those types of third-party applications. And so you need a tool that will help you set those policies and ensure continuous compliance of those policies. So you don't want a remote worker to be blocked from being able to get to these applications if they're home. There might be some that you would, but in general, you would want your remote workers to be able to have access to those. So it's about making sure that you've set the policies appropriately so that they can access these systems, but also not too open so that you're leaving a back door open somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good point. You don't want to get in the way, but you also still have to protect
Right.
the user, the endpoint, the data, et cetera. Well, tell us about some of the new things that have come out with BigFix. I know you had an announcement back in July. It wasn't too long ago. Tell us a little bit about some of the new things that are happening.
Yeah, so with our summer release this year, we extended our endpoint support to the mobile device. We started this journey probably 18 months ago with the first release around modern client management, which is using the more modern capabilities to manage a laptop. Those have been extended to mobile devices with our July release, and our customers are so excited to have the product that they know and they trust to manage their mobile devices right alongside all of their traditional servers, laptops, and cloud endpoints. So it's been a pretty exciting summer for us, bringing the mobile device management to our customers. Really, and the story is really all about a single tool allowing you to manage every endpoint type, so you can set policies that are consistent across your organization, no matter what kind of device it is.
Mm-hmm. Very good. I'm curious about how you've decided to tackle kind of approach securing the mobile devices and mobile device management. Different environment, right? There's things that mobile operating systems don't want us to get into and protect in the operating system. And so they're a little bit more constrained in some ways. And that always presents challenges of how do you secure those things? How do you keep work information, assets, applications, maybe somewhat separate, maybe well separated from personal things? How do you manage that kind of space on a mobile device?
Yeah, so in the mobile space, it's pretty well defined by the mobile providers and vendors that there's particular APIs that you're allowed to write to and manage that device. So really, the experience is about how do we best leverage those capabilities and bring them forward to our customers in a way that makes sense and is simplified. Like you said, it is more locked down. It's not, you can't get in there and do everything that a traditional agent could do on a device. But it's about really helping the customer see the capabilities that are most critical to be protected on those devices.
Great. It also seems like, with a corporate issued laptop or even a personal laptop you're using for work, those devices tend not to change out very often. You're probably going to be using the laptop you're using now for a little while versus a mobile device. I could, go get the latest iPhone or Android phone, or, I could get 2 or 3 different ones of those a year if I have enough money. So it seems like that environment changes a lot more often. And maybe if I'm not traveling, I don't use it as much for work as when I get back on the road or going to conferences or meeting up for business meetings.
Yeah. And so I think, as you mentioned, the ability to change out mobile devices faster, we have to be able to support that through the simplified over-the-air enrollment, like one click. I want to use this for work. So I go to this website and now it's enrolled and under the management of the corporation or organization. Similarly, decommissioning a device is, hate to say it, but many people lose their mobile devices. So we need a way to be able to wipe those rather quickly and make sure that none of the data or access gets into a bad actor's hands. So those capabilities, mobile presents a different challenge from the traditional IT estate. Absolutely.
Do you do anything to kind of control or regulate what applications people use on a mobile device? Because that obviously, Google Play versus Apple App Store, they have their standards. Some are looser or stronger than others.
Yeah, and really that's left up to the organization on how much they want to have that device locked down, right? So let's say it's a tablet that's used in a medical setting, and there's really only 3 applications that should ever be running on that tablet. We're able to set those policies to restrict that versus your home, personal mobile device that we use when you travel, that does need to be more open. So we provide the capabilities for organizations to be able to set the policies that meets their needs. And I think that's one of the major differentiators in BigFix as a product as a whole. So we provide tremendous out-of-the-box capability, but everything is customizable. You're able to set things in the way that your organization wants them, right? So if you can define the craziest policy ever, and with the BigFix tooling, we can come in and ensure that kind of compliance.
Yeah, everybody's unique, but we all have very similar, if not common, requirements, right? At least we all think we're unique. Usually there's some part of it that is. What other things are kind of different about BigFix and how you approach endpoint and device management, maybe some from the competitors?
Yeah, so I think one of our major differentiators is the breadth of endpoints that we support. So we support over 100 operating system variations. So this could be, a legacy Solaris system all the way through, the latest and greatest AWS deployment. So that truly is a differentiator as you go out and you meet with organizations. If they're more than a year old, they have multiple operating systems. No matter what the company's edict was during founding, right? You need different systems to manage those endpoints, and that's one of the key differentiators of BigFix. Another I mentioned earlier is our continuous content stream. And what that is that's the automation that makes BigFix, drive patches or drive compliance or query endpoints. We have a dedicated team that is round the clock curating new content to stay current with patches issued by vendors, changes in compliance standards, as well as addressing, customer needs. And so that's really the fuel that keeps the BigFix engine running and helps IT teams be able to do more with less.
Interesting. It's sort of a bit of a left field question, so kind of get you ready for this. Yeah, I'm curious what your thoughts are about VPN. Many folks say, "Oh, the age of VPN is gone. We don't need it anymore for blah 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 reasons." Other people say, "Oh, personal VPN, that's the answer to everything." Other folks have had to invest in VPN just capacity because of COVID and how many people were working remotely. What's your opinion? What's the role of VPN as you kind of look forward in mobile device management?
Right. So I think that this is going to be a hotly contested debate for many years to come. One of the way that BigFix was designed is that it functions with or without a VPN. So one of the things that we saw at the start of the work from home pandemic, VPN tickets were one of the top 5 tickets that IT teams were addressing. So if the remote worker can't get on VPN to get their job done, they're not getting any work done. Also, similarly, if your endpoint manager cannot connect to the device because it's not on VPN, you can't ensure that it's secure or configured correctly. So in BigFix, our stance is we can do it all without VPN. And when we say all, that includes capabilities like allowing a secure remote control session so that when that end worker calls in and says, "I can't get on VPN, I can't get my job done," the IT team's able to remote control that device and help troubleshoot the challenges with VPN. And I can't tell you how many calls I've been on where different people have said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm late. I couldn't get on VPN." Right. So I think VPN is a challenge that many face. I won't comment if you should or shouldn't have it. All I'll tell you is you can get the BigFix job done without VPN.
Interesting. I appreciate your perspective on it. I agree with you. I think it's going to get more confusing rather than less. Just for example, I'll just pick an example. The Brave browser, which is kind of catching on now, includes sign up for a VPN service. Pretty soon you're going to have VPNs inside of VPNs, and we're not going to know what we have. So it's a bit confusing already. I think so. Just a parting thought or comment on where do you see endpoint management going next? What's sort of the next big challenge to take on or evolutionary point to reach? What are your thoughts?
So I think that where we'll see endpoint management continue to evolve is, there's so much rich data around the endpoint, whether it's the business data or security data or traditional IT data. It's really about bringing all of that together so that you can make better informed decisions about how to manage that endpoint. And you'll see some of this with the BigFix Insights for Vulnerability Remediation capability. That's marrying the information from the Qualys and Tenable scanners with the BigFix patch data to help administrators make better informed decisions. But I do think that as endpoint management continues to evolve, you'll see the pulling together and the integration of the different data points across the endpoint to help streamline automation and help administrators make better informed decisions.
It's interesting too that having a mobile version of your business application service, whatever you're doing, either to end users in the market or internally, mobile is almost assumed, just like a feature. Press that button, I have a mobile app. So now you're delivering software onto lots of people's devices as part of your service or application portfolio, and having data like that seems to me to be crucial to really know what's going on, especially on devices that you're able to manage.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about, you have to have visibility across your entire estate to assure that you've secured your entire estate. So if you have, workers leveraging mobile, leveraging iPads, you have to be able to have that visibility and control of those devices to ensure security.
Well, Kristin, it's been great talking with you. Thank you for spending some time with us, telling us a little bit more about BigFix and some of the changes and happenings within the endpoint device management world.
All right. Yes. Thank you, Mitch.
Great. Hope to have you on again soon. Again, Kristin Hazlewood, who's Vice President General Manager with HCL BigFix.
Thank you.